Hi, Greg. Great to see you. Obviously, everyone's at home for the most part, so just want to have a chance to talk to you for a few minutes. Obviously, we usually will be at NAB this year to talk about new products and new developments that won't be happening this year. But we want to make sure to touch base with all of our sponsors and give you guys a chance to discuss what's going on and what's new. So, how are you holding up first, and then also what's new?
Well, great to talk to somebody outside of my immediate team for a change.
Right.
We've been trying to stay in contact with our clients and other people, but as you can understand, given the circumstances, it's a little crazy. So thank you for the opportunity to break out a little bit and
Sure.
break away from my robe and slippers.
Yeah, exactly.
We had a lot of plans for NAB, I'm sure like many other people, but this again, we'll just have to make it up as we go along, as many people are doing at this point. One of the highlights for us that we were really focusing on for NAB was part of our Roby Cam cable suspended camera systems. We'd focused on something called the Roby Cam Studio, which is basically a smaller version of our standard cable cam and cable suspended camera, basically. And it was designed primarily for smaller studios. So the dolly and the camera head is much smaller. The winches are smaller. So basically think of it as a crane for a virtual studio, except it doesn't have the kill space of a crane. It's completely suspended. So you get all the production value of a crane. It integrates fully with studio automated systems. It has all the capabilities of AR and virtual graphics so that you can, reuse the studio in multiple ways over the course of, almost immediately, basically. And it's planted. So you can basically turn it on at any time. You can record moves. And so you can have similar moves from, shot to shot, from show to show, basically. So that was the focus of the NAB for us, as well as some of the other products in our Roby Cam lineup. One of the things we also did recently was we innovated the Roby line system. So, Roby Cam is primarily a 4-point system, a 4-point cable camera system. Roby line was really a 2-point system. And what we've done is we've improved its stability, improved its speed. So it's now traveling at almost 40 miles an hour, which is about 16 meters per second. It goes up to 1,100 yards now. So it's ideal for skiing, for car racing, horse racing, a lot of speed events, and of course, extreme sports.
Right, yeah. So you're seeing a lot of, or more interest I've seen in the sort of 2-point cable systems. Obviously, the U.S. Open tennis is a perfect example. You got the 2-point kind of going across the grounds. At the Super Bowl, they had a 2-point going into the stadium. So, because there are some applications where obviously it's a lot easier. You can use it in ways that you can't use a 4-point because obviously it's a much simpler build out, right? So
it's a much simpler build out, absolutely.
So what are you saying as far as the studio? So I'm picturing within a studio environment, or is it within like within a stadium where they may have a studio setup? Where do you kind of see that?
Well, we basically, just to cover it a little bit, our Roby Cam systems, we have what is our standard Roby Cam, which is designed for large stadiums. We've recently done some rugby games in England and New Zealand. So it can literally cover, over 1,000 yards, 300 meters, and it's a full-size cable camera system for any size stadium. We have what's called a Roby Cam Compact, which is something we've used recently on our ISL, International Swimming League, which is a new format for swimming, and that's designed for smaller arenas. So we've used it for basketball, we've used it for smaller swimming events, and basically the entire system is scaled down so that the winches are smaller, the head is a little smaller, but it has all of the, basically what we call our Compass AR software, which allows you to pre-record moves, block out safety areas, basically complete automation of the system. And then the studio is one more iteration, which is smaller. So it's literally designed for small studios. You could literally put it into, an interview studio, any place, basically it's designed for things of studios that are low ceilinged. And the winches can be hidden in infrastructure. So you can literally have a completely open floor space and then have a flying camera within your virtual studio or within a studio with any kind of infrastructure built in. Cameras, sets, whatever it is.
Right, and a much smaller footprint, obviously, like you mentioned, than a crane,
exactly,
which is a big thing.
Exactly. So you get more production value because you can fly around. First of all, not only can you cover different sides of the studio because the crane is obviously parked in some place for most of the time,
Right.
but you don't have that kill space, but you can also swoop from any side, any way. You can now use different sides or different corners of a studio, literally turn around and fly in and fly out. So it has all of those advantages, and again, because we have the Compass AR tracking, which allows for augmented reality and virtual graphics, volumetric graphics,
Right.
you can now integrate that seamlessly into your broadcast.
Oh, that's great. And, obviously, as you know, the AR graphics are all about that sense of movement and
Absolutely.
dramatic sweeping across the studio. So that's cool. So as far as the other things are wireless cameras on the ref and umpire cameras. So
Sure.
how
Well,
about that?
let me just tell you one small thing that we're kind of excited about. I don't know if it'll come to fruition. So we had a little experience with the ISL, the International Swimming League. One of the things that was a challenge was that there were a lot of small venues because it was swimming and it's a smaller pool. And a lot of times there were only spectators on one side or sometimes only two sides. So we worked with a company, Graphic, out of Australia, and they did amazing things by putting virtual graphics and augmented reality in the space to kind of fill up the auditoriums.
Right,
Because
right,
again, you have a situation where sometimes it's just black on one side.
right.
So we're thinking that perhaps when we come back from this, lockdown,
Yes.
and there might be some not so full stadiums, depending on how fans respond, this might be an alternative to potentially fill out, stadiums, or at least cover up some of the empty seats, so to speak.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. That's great.
So, but yes, one of the things that the other things that we've been working on, we were going to present were we do a line of wireless ref cams, which have been used for hockey in Europe in quite a few places, Champions League and stuff like that. And what we've done is we've innovated that and put them on umpire masks for baseball. So both, behind the plate umpires and also the base umpires and the base coaches. So one of the nice things about our system is it's not married to a particular helmet or a particular mask. It can be added to almost any helmet or any mask, and it's a completely functional, fully wireless, broadcast camera. So we were going to basically demonstrate a version of it at NAB built on an umpire mask. So you could have someone behind the plate and have that perspective. We're working with that with multiple different solutions for that kind of thing. And I think we'll be building it out as sports comes back. We'll be able to demo more of those.
Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, when sports does come back, and there's obviously concerns already about how big the TV crews can be and how many cameras. At least the good news is, odds are the referees and some of the players are going to be, hopefully coronavirus free. So they actually perfect camera guys. Everyone's gonna have a camera.
Absolutely. Everybody should have a camera now. We'll have 1,000 perspectives of the game.
Right. Exactly. Great. Well, thanks for your time, Greg. Really appreciate it. Obviously, hope to see you later this year in person somewhere at one of our events, because we hope to obviously get back in the swing of things as we get to the late summer, early fall. But
Let's hope.
it's challenging times, so just stay healthy, obviously, to you and the rest of the family, and hopefully see you soon.
Definitely. Thank you very much.